2010, time 8 p.m. This is a special meeting covering
8 a.m., Fred.
Or excuse me, 8 a.m. Thank you for the correction, Mary. And business items and general report. And it's up to Wade. It's over to you.
Certainly. Thank you, Fred. We have a couple items we need to deal with today, most generally in the housekeeping nature. There is a brief need for an executive session, or executive session brief need at the end of the meeting today. The first item is agenda item A1. This is the supplemental agreement with New York State Department of Transportation. The key here is supplemental agreement. What we approved before was an agreement. New York State DOT came back with some different language. The dollar amounts are exactly the same. The project is $21.778 million. That's $700,000 for design, $19,497,000 for construction, and $1.581 for construction inspection.
So what was the DOT's problem with the language that was in the prior resolution?
Well, what they did is they updated their language and put forth a supplemental agreement. This is one of the things that we probably could have squeezed it through under the old language that we had previously approved, but being that it's a substantial project, large dollar amount, we felt it more appropriate to dot the I's and cross the T's on this issue.
Well, tell me more about the supplemental agreement. Why is it different?
It's just different language that you see here in front of you. It indicates that the funding is 100% non-federal share of the project. And it's right there in the report section, Fred.
Okay.
It also extended the contract down.
Oh, thank you. And the reason that this is important, we need to have this agreement in place prior to the bid opening on March 3rd.
Question. The figures you have, 700,000 design, whatever, construction, and those, no matter the value of that grant, will those numbers stay the same, or will they flex with the amount that the project ends up being?
No, that's strictly the budget amount. So if the project comes in...
You can't go beyond those numbers.
But that's correct. You cannot exceed those numbers.
The question would be, to me, of the design is if the figure is lower, that figure would be lower?
If, for example, if the overall project were to come in at $19.5 million, the difference would be a percent DOT's discretion on what to do with the difference. It wouldn't necessarily go to this project discretion.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yes, I wanted to ask Mary anyways. As you realize, this didn't come in front of the facility.
Right.
So I want you to talk.
But since we already approved it in spirit, here's my question. If I remember correctly, and maybe I don't, the grant money actually came from a federal grant. The money then being administered through the state. Is that correct?
From our perspective, it's strictly through the state. It's not any of the stimulus or anything like that.
No stimulus money. This is way before the stimulus.
Bond Act, this was Mary's
That's right. Give them a bond act.
$15 million in the 2005 Transportation Bond Act.
Which was federal.
$5 million, yes. That
was state. Okay.
Transportation Bond Act is state. $5 million from DOT. $1.778 million additional from DOT.
So
I don't think there's any federal money in this particular project.
No, there's not.
This portion of money.
This project, yeah. I mean, we hopefully get some federal money.
Okay.
So with that, Mary, would you recommend that change?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Any questions? Any no's? Being none, we'll move on to the next item.
Item B1 is approval of a change order with S&L Electric. You recall at our last meeting we talked about the Pappy project and the fact that there would be a change order coming through on that. This is S&L Electric's change order in the amount of the decrease of $2883.93 for the project, financed 95% FAA, 2.5% DOT, and 2.5% Bridge and Port Authority.
Okay. Again, Mary, as it didn't come before the facility committee,
Here's my question to Wade.
Okay.
I wrote it down yesterday before I had the changes. It says that the total contract price from $171,300 to $168,400. And the $168,400 is reflected here. But the final participation adds up to $205,000. Where did the what's the difference between the $171,300 and the $205,000?
I believe the 205 is the grant.
Is the grant?
It's the grant award. It's the total bond. The low bids came in at 171,300.
Got it, okay. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I'll second.
No? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Is there any opposed? Unanimous? Item the next one.
B2 is a supplemental lease agreement with the GSA, General Services Administration. This is for 417 square feet of space in the passenger terminal. Period is April 7, 2010 through April 6, 2011 at the rate you see before you.
Any questions?
Did they pay their own utilities before?
We actually pay the utilities on
That's another thing.
part of the requirement on this. That's why you don't see in most of our leases you'll see something indicating that the client pays utilities. In this one, that's not the case.
Okay, motion's in order to... Okay, Steve? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Is there any opposed? Pass unanimous. Very good.
Do you have the diagram for the next two? Okay. Item C1 is a lease supplement with Allen Vanguard. Allen Vanguard leases space right now in a 6 industrial building, basically 2,380 square feet. They're looking to lease additional space at the rate you see before you for the term January 1st, 2010 through September 30th, 2010. This additional space coincides with the expiration date of their original lease, and we are requiring a security deposit equivalent to 3 months' rent on here as well.
Do I have a motion?
I'll move that motion, please.
Okay, motion by Sam, seconded by Steve. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass unanimous.
Same building, as these two companies are working together. This is Strader Ferris. Strader Ferris has lease in the six industrial building. This is for additional space as well at the rate you see before you. The term would be March 1st, 2010 through September 30th, 2010. Again, aligning the date with the expiration of their original lease. We are requiring the security deposit, appropriate insurance, and this one is a little different in the fact that we have put in a termination rate in there at 45 days written notice.
I think the March 1, 2010 through July, the end of July, that's when Strader Ferris' lease expires.
Okay, so we've got a typo there. It should be end of July instead of September.
Yes.
I think you're right, John.
Neither of these resolutions, either for Strader Ferris or Allen Vanguard, and I don't know if it makes a difference, but for purposes of being audited, refer to the security deposit of 3 months in either resolution section. Is that something we should make sure is in there? So that the amount of money we're holding coincides with the resolution?
It doesn't say that in the resolution. We should make that change.
I'll make the motion to make the change for Strader Ferris, and then we can go back maybe and do Allen Vanguard. Okay, add the language 3 month security deposit in the resolution section for Strader Ferris motion, and with that I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass unanimous.
Can we go back to Allen Vanguard and make that change as well?
So we need to back up to agenda item C1, Allen Vanguard.
And may I make the motion that we amend the resolution to add the 3 months security rent language in the resolution section?
I'll second.
Will be changed and to the motion. Need a motion to approve it. Steve?
I'll move. Second.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay.
There is a brief need for executive session negotiations.
3792311.
Shut the door, turn the camera off.
just write your name on it, send it to you. It's just,
Okay.
it came out of the Defenders.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
I talked
the motion,
with,
Have a motion for executive session,
I'll make the motion.
seconded by Ron Lamona.
Yes.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
she was coming
We're in executive session.
by. She heard that there was a lawsuit that had been, already been decided.
What department?
Which one? Well, I think it was